What's up, guys? So I on these tournaments right now I'm in 16 wins and 3 losses. However, um, let me just put this in English. 1 second. However, I got just now like 2 losses in a row. So it was against this one. A little bit rough because he had poison, so if he plays well, it gets to be some kind of a rough match. And then I also lost against Mega with Royal Hogs. So if you don't count those 2 losses that I just had, I actually reached 16 wins with only 1 loss. And the loss once against Logbaits. Yeah. And yeah, I'm using a very like personal, heavy type of deck that makes most of the guys hating the game because I just focus on the defense, like most of the guys just try to attack and I try to defend like most of the pushes and then try to counter. You can say, oh, that's easy, etc. But I mean, I'm not going to do the same thing that the other 90% of the others do. So I like to be somewhat different, and I enjoy to defend some pushes and then trying to counterattack. And so the deck that I'm using it's this one. I've made plenty of videos about it. So I have like the Brain Hat and the Rather Goods with the Tornado and an Executioner to defend. Like for example, if I play the Brain Hat in the start, I'll still have like the Tornado in case my opponent attacks on the other side. Over I laid down my Brain Hat, and if I start with Rather Goods, and I will cover a bit of the both towers. So if they attack at the start of the match when I play the Rather Goods in the back, I still have like 3 or 4 elixir to play something else like a Zap Piece, a Skeleton Dragons. If he plays like Lumberjack and Balloon, I'll have like the Tornado to push the Balloon and the Rather Goods will finish the Lumberjack off, So yeah. And this is like to defend, and to complete the counter I use the Graveyard so that it gets to be like a bit further away from the push. I tried to use like with the Hogs, but I didn't like it because with a Mega Knight, with a Valkyrie, it gets to be pretty damn easy for a Valkyrie or a Mega to just be on one spot and kill the entire combo, So if it is further away, if I, for example, use the Rather Goods as a guide to the graveyard, most likely like the skeletons and the Rather Goods will be like a bit further apart, And so that's my logic. And the freeze works very well with the graveyard. And so I also use the freeze either as a defensive or in the offensive side of the match. And the graveyard also can be used very well as a defensive weapon. It's more expensive than a skeleton army, but it can do the job like pretty much like a skeleton army, which is something that I like. So my entire deck can be used in either the defensive, and to counter I can use the graveyard, and I can also use the graveyard to defend. So that's something that I enjoy. I had a couple of interesting matches. This one was pretty damn rough. I played against Mega, but I had one where I played against double mega double mega knight because he had mirror. It's this one, and I still can watch it. Yeah, he had mirror, and yeah, it got to be like pretty rough. I'm not going to go through the every single match because against like most of the decks, or at least like most of the meta decks I've shown in a couple of videos, so I will just go on to some funny moments. So you'll play the constructions, and then here you'll try to get rid of my rain hat. I tried to defend it with the skeleton dragons, and then he mirrored it. You place a mirror on top of it, and I defended you with the zappies. I'll place all recruits in the bottom. Here I think I actually played Tornado to get that which closer. I could have played that much better, but it is what it is. I used the Executioner to defend most of it, and then the Skeleton Dragons to defend the remaining of the Inferno Dragon. And overall, I'm in a pretty solid state in the match. I placed the Ren Hat, bam, to defend the Furnace. It goes for like pretty much the same thing. Flying Machine, then does he clone it? He doesn't clone it. Mirror, he doesn't replace the mirror of the Flying Machine. And here I'm trying to just do something, see how does he respond to this again, if he's going to do the same thing, you know. You have to do like relatively the same type of thing, and he goes for a double mega. But here I'm not in too bad of a state. If I can have the zappies alive, I still and I still get to have some time to place the wire goods on top of the mega, then it's pretty much right. Bam, and there you go. And on the other side, I still get a little counter, you know, which makes him play a witch. So we keep it going. I defend different dragons with the skeleton, with the skeleton dragons, and I'm just trying to seek for an opportunity to counter. I think he plays the wrong type of thing. Here it is probably a solid opportunity. Maybe I'll just wait for a bit. I don't know. But here, for example, he played a mega, so you won't have mega again to play, especially after playing the Inferno Dragon. You won't have mirror to play the mega, you know. So here it's a real opportunity for me to try to make some damage with the graveyard and everything that I have. Because if I can have still an Executioner alive and kicking and some unities to serve as bait to the graveyard, and then place a freeze on top of it, it's like wonders, you know. Further down the road, I think I also get pretty much. I think that on Triple Elixir, I just decided to go like all out, no matter what he played. I'm trying to force him to play something. He'll play like double mega again, but it's getting close to the end. If I can like constantly attack and force him to defend, on the last like 20-15 seconds, I can rotate my deck and just keep the units distracted, you know, and that's what happened really. You say, oh yes, 2 megas, I'm not going to defend it. Well, I place like some royal goods, and then I can play the graveyard to defend, and I can even now place a freeze. I can place now a rainy hat. you know, and overall I get to just kill time and defend it pretty normally, you know, like it, it's just very defensive side deck, so things like this are like for what this deck is made for, you know, to defend like big pushes like Golem or plenty of Mega Knights. Like there'll be plenty of times that do not work, but even like for example in this match against Golem and the Elixir Collector, I was able to get the job done, you know. However, the one thing that it's kind of bad, it's against quick type of decks where I need plenty of elixir to defend the cards, you know. And so against the quick cycle deck, like a log bite type of deck, it's just will be very tough. I managed to win a couple, but I lose against like 70, 80, 90% maybe. Like if it's on top ladder, like above 6.6k, in the start of the season, like most of them play really, really well, and if you are constantly going for the attack, I will just straight up lose, you know. I also played against a very mental, crazy deck. I think it was this one, Sparky Balloon with Mega and Hog Rider with Freeze, and I was like, what? What is happening right now? So yeah, in the start of the match, I just let him attack, let him see where he is. He's already raging. Sure that I placed very good because overall I know that I can go for an attack in both sides. I can still defend the hog without conceding any damage if I play very goods, you know. So that's why I went for the very goods in that moment. I still made like 400 damage. I don't know, maybe I could have defended a little bit better. But either way, let's just move on. He plays the balloon, and here, fortunately, I made the right decision. I thought like to myself, I like hog with balloon. It's a mental deck, and it won't surprise me if he has freeze or if he has even lumberjack, balloon, and freeze. It's pretty common nowadays to see like a freeze with balloon and lumberjack. And so if I can activate the tower, if I have tornado in my hands, I will gladly sacrifice like 2 elixir to just play a tornado and activate the tower. And he just goes a little bit wild. He's like, what? You have tornado? Who was a tornado? Yeah, tornado is a very solid card, you know? It's a very solid card just to defend, and if I can use the freeze as well, it gets, you know, it's pretty OP in my opinion. So yeah, here I have the Warrior Goods. He plays Mega, and I'm like going crazy right now. Like, what the I placed that freeze, but it was a horrible one. I thought for a second that the Sparky would have a hit, so I freeze it, but it was not worth it. It was not worth it, you know. It was a very, very bad play. Either way, I place a tornado just for the executioner to give a couple of hits on my left side tower, and I make him focus on his defensive side. He could have gone for like the attack right now, but if he attacked With the minions, I will have the skeleton dragons right now, so I'm making focus entirely on defensive. Otherwise, those two towers, that right side tower is just gone. Because for the attack, I could have played like maybe the Barbarian Hat. And maybe I don't know. I much rather prefer to play this the Executioner and to avoid any damage of the minions, instantly like getting rid of it. And I go for the attack, he ignores it, and I keep that Sparky distracted, so I was able to kill like a little bit of time in my favor. I can place the Zappies and I can use the Tornado to get... I could have waited one more second, like 1 or 2 more seconds. And either way, it's alright. That Reinhardt was not entirely affected, just with the death damage. Otherwise, maybe it would have done a little bit... Maybe the situation would have been a little bit tougher, but either way, like you see, I can use the graveyard pretty well, just tank on this type of situations. Even if I don't kill their units, I can just play I can just play a graveyard and just tank the units for a long time. So yeah, much then. So I think that's it. Those were the two most interesting matches where I played against some type of a crazy deck. The rest, I made some videos about them. Here in this match, I tried to... I just didn't go well. I tried to get that poison off cycle in the elixir, but I didn't do as much damage and I ended up losing the match. It is what it is. So yeah, that is it. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, an amazing time. Right now I'm then on 16 wins and 3 losses. Maybe in a couple of days after everything is settled, maybe I'll try to get a couple more wins. I still have like 2 chances at it, but it just doesn't really matter overall. Just have fun, just enjoy the game, enjoy your lives, dudes. Enjoy your life. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you guys are in a safe spot, in a safe situation. Have an amazing week. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and bye.
It's the calm before the storm. Things aren't as they were before. You best start bracing. Did you think you could keep us out? Shut the gates, forget us now. Tides are changing.